Okay, so we've learned about this before, but we're going to go over it just real quick so I can give you why today matters. Okay? So, post World War II, we have the Cold War. And now, the reason I say post World War II and not an actual year is because it's more important the time frame, not the day it started. You can read in history books, well, the Cold War probably started here, probably started because of this. That's not imperative. The imperative part is that we came together for World War II. We said, nice, we got it. And then the second that treaties were signed, we were like, well, hold on. I want this part. And they were like, no, I want this part. And so immediately we get East and West Germany. Not great, right? Not great. So, the whole problem with the Cold War is that it continued on all the way through into the 90s. Now, you'll read in books or hear people say that it ended in the 80s, it ended after we won the space race in the 60s and into the 70s. In my opinion, the Cold War is still continuing. The reason I say that is because every part of the Cold War was a proxy war. The United States and Russia were fighting proxy wars. Now, it was the Soviet Union then. That's neither here nor there. It's not important. The important part is that it was always, hey, let's figure out what we can do to destabilize something and make it something of ours. Right? You know, when you see online and you see people, they go and buy a table and they fix it up, make it nice and pretty. They'll paint it, blah blah blah. They'll put it back on Facebook Marketplace, resell it for more than they bought it for. Right? There's nothing wrong with that, but if you break it down, it's essentially the same thing. You go into another country and you say, okay, that country doesn't align with what I say. Let's see what we can do, right? Let's usurp a dictator or two, right? Why not? Who's going to stop us? It's just a small country in the middle of South America, or it's just a country in the Middle East, which is a very colonial phrase, but we'll get to that another day. And we do that time and time again. Now, we have multiple large countries. We've got China, we've got Japan, we've got Russia, USA, and then I'll put NATO. Now I put NATO on there because there's an X amount of countries that are a part of NATO, including some of these. It's just, that's basically the rest. You know, like when you're, when you've got your starters in Pokemon, you're like, these are my starters. And then everybody else I've got, right? That's how we look at the big powers of the world. But that's not necessarily how we should look at it, because who's got the largest population? India. Technically Earth, you're right. God, it's beautiful. Because that's what it should be, right? It shouldn't be this back and forth, blah, 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 we're bigger than you, we know better than you, right? That's the entirety of the Cold War. That's what we've been doing since before the Cold War, since we've learned to invade other people. That's been the design. We go to today, Russia invading Ukraine. China saying that they want Taiwan back. Actually, what they're saying is Taiwan is already ours. They need to stop saying they're not. The United States invading Iran. Do you know why we invaded Iran?
No, I forgot. I mean, I know I forgot.
I'm gonna write 3 options up here, and then I want you to tell me which one it is. Okay? Now, if you have a question, ask.
Why is Bernie snoring?
Because she can. All right. Did we invade them for their uranium?
Yeah.
Did we invade them for their oil?
No, I mean maybe.
Did we invade them because they're terrorists?
Or
D? What is D?
All of the above.
D is all of the above. Okay.
I forgot, but I know they were like doing something to the people or something.
Doing something to their people. Now, I'm sure what you've heard is that they were killing protesters.
I don't know. I forgot, but something like that.
Right.
No.
Because that's usually the story that is spun. They're killing their people, essentially. They're all terrorists. They fund Hamas, et cetera, right?
Yeah.
But if you ask a military member, we invaded them because we were trying to prevent them from creating nuclear weaponry.
Yeah.
But we've been saying that since the 1950s. Iran is so close. They're so close. They're 10 years away. They're 20 years away. They're 8 weeks away from developing a nuclear bomb, and we're all going to die if we don't go in there and stop them. It's never been a case of are they actually going to develop one. It's, hey, we don't want the people who we have been terrorizing to be able to terrorize us. That it's fear mongering to the self, right? But if you paint them as a picture and you say, look at these guys and look how bad they are. They're all this bad. They're all terrorists. They're all the above. Then it's okay. To a general population, it's like, well, I don't agree that we're invading them for their nuclear energy, but, I do agree if we're invading them because they're terrorists. Right? Because that would be a good thing.
Every place has at least one terrorist besides maybe, I don't know, the donut shop.
Maybe. But you're right. Everybody has at least one terrorist. Everybody has at least one serial killer. Yeah. There's nothing preventing the world from becoming evil, but there is everything to do with preventing us from becoming the evil of that world. We don't have to do those things. We don't have to become the problem. But what we decide to do is we go, well, why not? We'll say that these guys and these guys are the good guys, right? Israel, United States, we're the good guys, okay? Yeah. We'll say that these guys are the bad guys. That's Palestine, sorry. I started to fall as I was writing. We'll say that these guys are the bad guys. Do you know what these things have in common right now?
That they drink water.
What do these 3 things have in common?
The line.
They're all what?
Places, people's like Abraham.
They're all Abrahamic religions.
Like Father.
Hebrew?
Yeah.
Christian?
Yeah.
Islamic?
Yeah.
These are the good guys, apparently. These are the bad guys. But they all follow the same God. They believe that there's a different path. They believe that the stories are different. But if you read the Quran, Jesus is in there. These guys don't believe in Jesus. They don't believe that Christ actually came and was the Son of God.
So why are they the good guys?
If you look at it from any point of view that doesn't necessarily agree with you, it's like, why are they the good guys? Why are these guys the bad guys? Wait, I agree with them on some things. And it's because what is the number one deciding factor for any choice you make? Your opinion. But what do you base your opinion on?
Other people's opinions and facts.
Okay. Other people's opinions, good.
And facts.
Okay.
And what you think is true, which is still an opinion.
Other opinions, facts,
but
your truth.
Yeah. Because the truth is the truth whether you believe it or not, but it's your truth is still whatever you believe, even if it is the actual truth, because it's just what you believe, and other people don't have to.
That's true.
Even if you think they should, and even if they actually should, because it might actually be the truth.
That's true. What is the biggest choice?
The X.
Mm-hmm. Why do a majority of people decide to do something? Whether it's decide to be safe, decide not to live somewhere, decide where to live, decide what cars to drive. What's a giant factor? Huh?
Free will.
Free will, but what do we have that we worry for?
Our egos.
True, but fear.
Like that you're gonna die?
Anything. Like when we look at new cars that we're trying to buy, or old cars, anything that's new to you, you're scared. You're scared it's going to break down. You're scared, what if this car's not as safe, right?
Yeah.
When you go to a new restaurant, you're scared that it's not going to be as good and you're going to waste your money. Or, when you go outside, you're scared that a skunk is going to come up and spray you, right? Those are normal fears to us because we live in a fairly normal place.
Yeah.
But the problem with the other side of the world, the way that we look at them, we fear them because what we think.
Like, because they're different and we think that everybody should be the way that we are because that's how we were raised.
Because we think they should be just like us. Who caused 9/11?
Huh?
Who caused 9/11?
I forgot.
Just give me a first thought.
Guy.
That guy.
I like the guy.
Okay.
Like, I forgot what nationality, but I know that it's something that is.
What was his major religion that we painted? That we said this guy represents.
Was he Muslim?
Yeah.
Okay.
He represented all of Islam. We said this guy.
Wait.
This guy is the Islamic religion. This terrorist. Everybody who believes that.
What? No.
Yeah. Why? Why is that not true?
Because it's like if a popular YouTuber uses one of your favorite characters in their videos, that doesn't mean that you can't use them. And like, because if the YouTuber ends up being problematic, that doesn't mean you're problematic because you use the same character.
That's true.
Or if you like the same character.
But
somebody who's problematic.
A lot of people won't use it though because of what?
The problematic person.
They'll fear that they'll be connected with that person.
That's not true though.
Exactly, you're getting it.
Like, even though I don't think that Muslim is the correct religion,
yes,
that's really stupid.
That's fine.
Like, I'm saying that it's really stupid that some people connect that with that guy.
Right.
What's his name?
Osama bin Laden. That's who you're thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yes, you're right. Like that is the problem. We look at one person and we say everything you believe relates to your terrorist ways.
Yeah.
But
Which it doesn't.
that same belief is not from 9/11. It's not from 20 years prior 10 years prior during Desert Storm. Sorry, I got my ears mixed up a little bit. It's not from decades earlier in the 70s during the Middle Eastern wars. It wasn't anything about that. It all comes down to how we fear something based on it being different, just like you were describing. Why is Jesus white?
He probably wasn't.
Exactly. Where was he from?
Bethlehem.
Palestine.
Yeah.
Which we're being told isn't real because it was promised
Also,
to the Israelites.
That he wandered like crazy. He would not be.
Right, he wouldn't be a big
be,
white guy.
He
right?
would not be as white as people actually say that he would have been.
Right, his skin tone would have been brown. It would have been a darker tone of a color. It wouldn't have been me.
Yeah.
And Jesus don't look like me, or I don't look like Jesus. However you want to look like. But why is that important? What does that have to do with the Cold War? What does that have to do with today?
I forgot what we were talking
Exactly. Exactly. Do you see how easy it was for me to say, okay, here's what's important right now. Here's why we're doing these things. I can trail you off into oblivion.
Well, that's not fair because I have children.
It's not fair, is it?
No.
If you are blindsided with media every single day, telling you one thing or another, telling you what you should believe, what you shouldn't believe, who's right, who's wrong, what the color of skin of the guy that you pray to is, how do you know what's real and what's not? How do you know what's important and what's not?
Well, I don't really think that it's important what Jesus' skin color was because
See, but I distracted you one more time.
I know, but I'm just trying to say
I know. That part is you're gonna get hung up on. I know, but that's what this is. That's what it is every time. That's why we fought in proxy wars, is so we could say, hey, don't look at us. Don't look at the crimes we're committing. Don't look at the negating we're doing of our communities. Look at what the Soviets are doing. Look at what the Iranians are doing. Look at what the Venezuelans are doing. It's always been the exact same thing. Look over there. It's a magician trying to hide his trick. Like, there's not an actual rabbit in my hat. I clearly pulled it out from somewhere else, but before I did, I said, hey, look over there, and everyone looked, and I put the rabbit in. I said, hey, look, I have rescued us. I have rescued us from this person. Because this person started it 60, 70 years ago. But I rescued you. Your way of life here is the best. But it's not. We can clearly see that it's not, but we're blindsided every single day with something new. Whether it's a school shooting, whether it's a company that's taking all of the blood money from across the world but paying you just enough that it makes life meaningful. They're saying, hey, here, come work for us. We'll pay you all this money. And you're like, wow, fantastic. I have a real job, pays super well. Where did this money come from? Oh, well, we bombed an orphanage over here in this other country because there was actually a terrorist bunker underneath it.
Why don't you just...
Yeah, exactly.
Why can't you just go into the orphanage?
Why can't you just? Why don't you just? And that's what we always do, because then we'll say, well, it wasn't safe for us.
Like evacuate them.
But turns out there wasn't anybody there, and we just killed a bunch of kids for nothing. That is what we've been doing the entirety of our history.
Oh no, I accidentally, I thought it was the wrong orphanage. My bad.
Right. I didn't know you were a news reporter. I didn't mean to shoot you. Yes, you did. Because the world is run by angry white men, and they'll never stop wanting their way. The second you stand up and you say, that's not okay, they're going to go, well, what about these guys? They also said, hey, that's not okay, and look what happened to them. They'll always start to guilt you, start to make you feel bad, or make you the problem. What is, last thing, promise. Antifa. Yes. What does Antifa mean to you? Without me prompting anything, what does that mean? Some kind of elephant? I like that. I'm sure they would too. What does anti mean?
Anti, like, no.
You're against something.
Yeah.
Right? What do you think the fa means?
I don't know.
Fascist.
What?
Fascist.
I forgot what that is.
Okay. So if I told you that my form of government is to say, whatever I says go, whatever you want you don't have, because it's not what I said, I decide quite literally everything for you, because it is the way of the people.
But if it's the way of the people, then why is it
I'm the people.
all of your decision?
I'm the
We're
people. The rich, the powerful, those are the people. We're the people. We're protecting you from the outside world, where it's constant surveillance. Everything that you do, everything that you say, everything you eat, drink, I know about.
Why?
Because it's for your safety.
No.
That's what a fascist government is. They take what they want. They do
So
what they want out of
Antifa
your
is good?
safety. Huh?
Antifa is good.
Antifa is anti-fascist. That means you're saying, I don't agree with fascism.
Okay.
Is that a bad thing?
No.
Why?
Because you just told me what it is and it sounds bad.
Okay, so if I told you what Antifa was before, would me saying that this is a terrorist organization change your mind?
No.
Why?
Because they still stand for the right thing. It's not my fault that they like blown things up.
They have never blown anything up.
Okay.
Antifa is just a group of people that say, hey, we don't agree with fascism.
But if
You
they
can't
were
just.
a terrorist group,
That would be what usually happens.
yeah.
And that is why they're labeled as domestic terrorists. But so were the Black Panthers.
Okay.
Black Panthers were in the
Domestic terrorism.
Domestic
is
terrorism.
So much different than literal terrorism. That's
Dom-
just like raising signs. And
domestic terrorism is supposed to be terrorism located within the United States territories.
yeah.
That is domestic because international and domestic.
Yeah. It's
Right.
us.
But
Us
the
exactly.
problem with labeling something as terrorism
is
is that you're no longer required to treat those people like citizens. Because you're labeling them as terrorists. And what do we do with terrorists?
like bomb them, I guess.
Yeah. What are we doing in Iran right now?
Well, we can't bomb the domestic terrorists because they're in on. So why would you?
You would arrest them.
Yeah.
You would arrest them, you would put them somewhere,
But don't put them in a different country.
and
just
what
to
would
bomb
we
them.
and what would we call that?
Something.
Illegal deportation.
Yeah, you can't put them in a different country just to bomb them.
What is an ICE facility?
Do they do that? Okay.
They're taking people who look, let's just use what we said earlier, look like Jesus, and they're saying, hey, you're probably illegal because you look un-American. They check, but then they have problems. They're thinking, well, we'll arrest you now and then we'll check. But that's not how the law works, right? Unless you're a what? Unless you're a fascist. Unless that's the style of government that you believe in. And the biggest thing with this part, the biggest thing with fascism, is that was the largest part of why we were fighting so hard
I feel like
in World War II.
I feel like the only situation where you should arrest somebody before you actually get to check is if they're like being accused of like actual like child abuse or like murder.
Sure.
Like so that you can keep them in there
Just like a
they can't be
normal
with their
citizen,
kids.
right? You
They
would
shouldn't be able to be with their children.
You would
even if
arrest
they are
them,
good.
try them in court. That's called due process.
Yeah,
But when we label somebody as a terrorist or we label them as an illegal, we're saying that you have no more rights to due process. We can now hold you indefinitely and send you to a country we believe is your origin.
Do they even do blood tests?
No, they don't care. They don't care. There are people coming out of the woodwork because of this belief.
Well, if somebody is like, what if they're like Korean and they get sent to like China, but
That's not their problem. It's a matter of, will China take them? No? Okay, well, Honduras will. Send them. It's this long-term religious belief of a far-right organization to say white is right. If you're not white, you're not right.
racism.
It's just racism. It boils down to it every time. What's the biggest trade commodity of all time?
Racism.
That was a tool. The biggest trade commodity. What was the most valuable trade of all time? Yep. People. It's always been about what can we do with people? Can we make one side angry that the other side exists? What they believe in? Can we make that other side look like they should hate the other side? Should we paint one side of the coin the color black and the other side white and say if it lands on the black part, it's wrong, you lose? That doesn't make any sense.
That's why both
it's
sides
chance.
of the coin are
The same freaking coin.
Yeah.
And that's what we've been doing the entirety of written human civilization. We have been deciding who is right, who is wrong, and every time we look back and we read a history book that is published in the United States of America, it is written by the victor because nobody wants to listen to the loser. Nobody wants to know why. And in 20 years, people ask, why did we invade Iran? Why did the Russians invade Ukraine? Why does China want Taiwan back? Or why did they get them back? However we look at it in the future, we'll say, well, they were terrorists.
So why do you want them?
What?
Why do they want them?
They want the land, honey. They want their stuff. It's just pillaging. It's Christopher Columbus all over again, sailing to the new world to say, hey,
because they kill people.
they kill people because they love to kill people. They say they do it out of the safety and security of their homeland, but it's never been about that.
Everybody's just killing everybody.
It's been about men thinking that they're more important than they are. Make sense?
Yeah.
Sorry. Ah.